In this short video, I'm going to introduce the Roundhouse George, a Loco that is one of the Roundhouse Classic series that was produced from 2011 to 2014. Now, I bought this one recently from John Sutton as a second-hand Loco, and the first thing you can see is that it has been very nicely lined. This was done in 2013 when the Loco was made by Jeff Munday at Light Lines. But let's take a look at the Loco. The first thing you notice, of course, is that it's got a tender, and that's what makes it George. They also sold it without the tender, and that was called Mildred. The Loco is still available, in fact, as a kit, and the tender is also available. But let's look at the Loco first. So I'm just going to detach the tender, and here we've got a side tank Loco. Pretty straightforward for the Classic series. It has the modified Welshurts valve gear, and it has the usual Roundhouse equipment in the cab. We can see in the center here is the regulator, and this is radio controlled, so it's running from a servo just behind the back plate here. We have the gas valve. This is the gas tank here. The pressure gauge, and here we have the lubricator, and I can turn the Loco around so that you can see that on the side there. So here's the displacement lubricator with a filler cap and the drain. Just one more thing in here, we have the burner. That's the gas jet in there. Those familiar with these Locos will know that that's where the gas jet is, and that's where the burner is. I also need to mention that the water filler and safety valve are here, and that undoes so that you can fill it with water. On this Loco we have a fall plate here which connects it to the tender. We have an adjustable coupler there which allows it to be close coupled or just a bit further away if you're going through tight radii, and here are the connections to the radio control. So pretty straightforward as a Roundhouse Classic series Loco. Just taking a quick look underneath, you can see this one is in beautiful condition. Obviously here is the Welshurts valve gear, and here are the wheels, and these are insulated wheels which have the plastic. This is for people who want to run on track that is also electric powered. And now, in fact, I adjusted these wheels, and I did think of making a video of it, but they were so tight that there was rather too much profanity in the voiceover, so I'll just explain that to adjust the wheels you undo the little grub screw with an Allen key, and then you ease them together, but they can be very tight. The rear axle on this was extremely tight, but possible. The front one was easy. It's just the way it goes. So that is the Loco. Let's have a look at the tender. Very nicely made tender, and the coal load, which is remarkably realistic actually. It's a resin casting, and I normally put real coal on top, and I mean I can't fault that. Inside we have the receiver. This one's a radio link. We have the battery box, and we have a switch. And underneath there are those cables coming out, and here are the wheels. Now, when I bought this it was 45 gauge, and I was able to buy these from Roundhouse. They came very quickly. It's just a matter of undoing those two screws, removing the centerpiece, drop in the new axles, put the piece back and do up screws. One thing you'll see here, if I turn it over, is that Jeff Munday has actually signed it. It's 2013, and that's nice to see. And in fact, on the Loco, it is also signed there. This Loco is in fact called Summerlands because I had those nameplates in stock, and they went on rather nicely. So, there we have it. There is Roundhouse George, and I think you might agree that it looks very, very smart in that Victorian maroon lined with yellow.